Look at this. Shiny, isn't it? It cost more than my first car. I wanted this thing for 3 years. I obsessively checked the website. I imagined how it would feel in my hand. I told myself, once I have this, then I will feel complete. Well, I got it on Tuesday. Today is Friday, and do you know what I feel? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Actually, that's a lie. I feel something worse than nothing. I feel a strange, heavy guilt. Because I should be happy. I won the game. I got the promotion. I bought the toy. But the dopamine hit lasted exactly 48 hours. And now I am back to baseline. Back to the same anxiety, the same restlessness, the same hunger. If you are watching this, maybe you know this feeling. Maybe you just moved into the dream house and you are already looking at Zillow for something bigger. Maybe you just got the raise and you are already worried about next year's bonus. We are told that we are ambitious, that we are driven. But what if we are just malfunctioning? There is a name for this. Psychologists call it the hedonic treadmill. It is the reason why the new car smell fades so fast. It is the reason why more never feels like enough. And it is not because you are ungrateful. It is because your brain is a biological machine designed for survival, not for happiness. Tonight, we are going to open up the hood of that machine. We are going to find out why you are running so fast and getting nowhere. Put down the credit card. Let's talk about the trap. Let's do a thought experiment. Imagine you are walking through the savannah 100,000 years ago. You find a berry bush. It is sweet. It is calories. It is survival. Your brain releases a massive hit of dopamine. Why? Not to make you happy, but to make you remember where the bush is and to make you want more. Because if your ancestor ate one berry and felt content for the rest of his life, he would have starved to death. Dissatisfaction was his superpower. And you, my friend, are the direct descendant of the most dissatisfied humans who ever lived. Fast forward to 2024. You are not hunting gazelles anymore. You are hunting promotions. You are hunting likes. You are hunting the validation of strangers on LinkedIn. But the machinery hasn't changed. We call it ambition. We call it the American dream. But really, it is just a biological glitch. Dopamine is the molecule of more. It is the chemical of anticipation. It promises you that the next thing, the next car, the next partner will finally fix you. But here's the cruel joke. Dopamine doesn't care about the arrival, it only cares about the chase. The moment you sign the contract, the moment the keys are in your hand, the chemical wave crashes, and you are left standing in your new kitchen, wondering why the silence feels so loud. You are running on a treadmill that speeds up every time you take a step. The psychologists call it hedonic adaptation. You get a raise? Great. You adjust. Now you need a bigger raise just to feel normal. You buy a house? Fantastic. 6 months later, it's just the place where you keep your stuff. We spend our entire lives trying to fill a bucket that has a hole in the bottom, and we think the solution is to pour faster. But maybe, just maybe, the problem isn't the water. The problem is the bucket. Look at your life right now. Are you running because you love the race, or are you running because you are terrified of what you might find if you stop? Because if you stop, you have to face the one person you have been avoiding for 20 years, yourself.
But wait, what if I told you that this inability to stay happy is not a curse? What if it is just physics? Think about your body temperature. 98.6 degrees. If you get too hot, you sweat. If you get too cold, you shiver. Your body fights like hell to keep you at baseline. Well, your happiness works exactly the same way. Psychologists call it the set point. You win the lottery, boom, spike. 6 months later, you are back to 98.6. You lose your job, crash. 6 months later, back to 98.6. The tragedy isn't that the feeling fades. The tragedy is that we spend our entire lives betting everything on the spike. We treat happiness like a destination. When I get married, then I will be happy. When I make $1 million, then I will be happy. But happiness isn't a place you go to. It's a mood you visit. And like any guest, if it stays too long, it starts to stink. Imagine if you felt the same euphoria of your wedding day every single day for 20 years. You would be exhausted. You would be manic. You couldn't function. Your brain needs baseline to survive. So, the new car stops being exciting. The promotion becomes just work. And you sit there feeling betrayed. But the car didn't change. You did. You adapted. And adaptation is the double-edged sword of being human. It is the reason you can survive a tragedy, and it is the reason you get bored with paradise. So, here's the terrifying question. If the external world cannot permanently change your internal state, why are we killing ourselves to rearrange the furniture? Why are we sacrificing our health, our time, our actual lives for a hit of dopamine that has a half-life of 20 minutes? Maybe the game isn't about getting more. Maybe the game is realizing that more is just a different kind of same. The treadmill doesn't have an off switch, but you have legs. You can choose to step off. You can choose to look at the view instead of the screen. But stepping off requires a different kind of courage. The courage to be still.
Let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah is not her real name, but her story is real. Sarah spent 15 years climbing the corporate ladder in New York. She was a shark. She worked 80-hour weeks. She missed weddings. She missed birthdays. Her goal was simple: vice president by 40. She told herself, once I get that title, once I have that office, then I can finally exhale. Well, last month, she got it. VP of Marketing, the corner office with the view of the skyline, the salary that makes your eyes water. She celebrated. She bought a $300 bottle of wine. She took it home to her empty apartment. She poured a glass, and then she sat on her floor and cried for 3 hours. She called me the next day. Her voice was shaking. She said, I thought it would feel different. I thought I would feel arrived, but I just feel tired. Is this it? Is this what I traded my life for? Sarah didn't cry because she was ungrateful. She cried because she realized the treadmill doesn't have a finish line. She reached the top of the mountain, only to find out it was just a pile of rocks. And in that moment of despair, something broke inside her. Not her spirit, but her illusion. The illusion that success is a place where pain doesn't exist. Sarah stopped running that day. She didn't quit her job. She didn't move to an ashram in India. But she stopped waiting for the job to save her. She started leaving work at 5. She started painting again, badly, but with joy. She realized that the dopamine of a promotion is cheap,
But the serotonin of a quiet evening, of a connection with a friend, of creating something just for the hell of it, that is priceless. She stepped off the treadmill, and for the first time in 15 years, she actually tasted her wine. Now, look at your own life. Look at the things you are killing yourself to achieve. Are you chasing them because you want them? Or are you chasing them because you are afraid of the silence that comes when you stop running? Because let me tell you a secret. The silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. But you have to stop running to hear them. You have to be brave enough to sit on the floor and just be.
So, how do we break the machine? How do we stop chasing the next hit and actually enjoy the life we have already built? The Stoics had a technique for this 2,000 years ago. They called it negative visualization. It sounds depressing, but it is actually the cure for greed. Here's the practice. Tonight, before you go to sleep, imagine you lost everything. Imagine the bank calls you tomorrow and says the account is zero. Imagine the doctor calls you with the diagnosis you fear most. Imagine the empty side of the bed where your partner sleeps. Feel the cold sweat. Feel the panic. Now, open your eyes. Look around your bedroom. The roof is still there. Your partner is breathing next to you. Your heart is beating. Suddenly, the boring life you were trying to escape feels like a miracle. You don't need more things. You need new eyes. We are addicted to the next, but happiness lives in the now. This week, I want you to try something radical. Pick one thing you already own, your car, your coffee mug, your old guitar, and treat it like you just bought it today. Feel the weight of it, smell it, use it with intention. Psychologists call this savoring. It is the act of stepping off the treadmill to admire the view. Dopamine is cheap. It rushes in and rushes out. But gratitude, real visceral gratitude, that is the only thing that sticks. Stop measuring your life by what's missing. Start measuring it by what remains. Because one day, the treadmill will stop for good, and you don't want to be the person who died with a full bank account and an empty soul. You want to be the person who squeezed every drop of joy out of the ordinary.
So, here is where we stand. The biology is rigged, the culture is lying to you, the treadmill is spinning, but you are the one deciding to move your legs. You are the one deciding that your worth is attached to your net worth. And tonight, you can decide to stop. You can decide that the chase is over, not because you lost, but because you realized the prize was fake. Pause. I am going to ask you to do something difficult right now. I want you to look around your room, take a breath, and out loud say the words, "I am enough." It will feel weird. It will feel like a lie at first. Your ego will scream at you. Let it scream. Let it panic. Because on the other side of that panic is freedom. If you are ready to stop running, if you are ready to step off the machine, leave a comment below. Write the words, "I am enough." Let this be our silent pact, a declaration of independence from the chase. I will read them, I promise. But I have to warn you, when you step off the treadmill, the silence is going to hit you. And for a mind that is used to running 100 miles an hour, silence is terrifying. You are going to feel anxious. You are going to feel useless. You are going to think you need more motivation to start running again. You don't. You don't need more motivation. You need much harder. You need stillness. And how you survive that stillness is exactly what we are going to talk about in the next video. The link is on your screen. Sleep well, and remember, you are already there.